Alright, so the week before last, like you probably already know, I went to Street League and was able to talk to a ton of pros and just ask them their tips for tricks that they're really good at. So from the title, you can already tell the pro we're going to be talking about today is Chris Joslin, and we're going to be talking about his backside big spins. Just to give you a point of reference, here are some of Chris Joslin's backside big spins. So yeah, Chris Joslin is obviously a beast and obviously really good at backside big spins. So here's a clip of me asking Chris Joslin what the secret is to doing backside big spins. Hey Chris, can I ask you a question?
Thank you.
When you're learning big spins, what's like your main tip? Just backside big spins.
I learned them a long time ago. It's kind of hard to remember what the tip was then, but now it's just more like pop, shove it as quick as you can so that it doesn't flip and catches to your foot, and finish the rotation like a back 180.
So do it in 2 tricks, just like basically, pop, shove, back 180.
But over time, the two tricks will become one, and it'll just become one fluid motion.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
No worries.
So Chris Joslin basically says to break it up into 2 tricks, and when you watch Chris Joslin do his backside big spins, this actually makes a lot of sense. Because of the way that he catches the pop shove it really does like he's doing it in 2 separate motions. But then it turns into 1 trick. So he's doing like 2 tricks separately, but at the same time, if that makes sense. So today we're gonna see if we can apply this advice from Chris Joslin and try and get our back big spins on lock. First thing we gotta do is just get warmed up. So let's get it. So it's pretty straightforward what Chris Joslin says. He says to break the trick up into 2 parts, think of it as pop shove it and then back 180. So in order to put this into practice, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to first the hip and then the bump and then the step up. The step up's kind of like the final boss. That's the one that we really want to conquer today. And we're gonna start off by doing a regular pop shove it and then a backside 180 and then combining the 2 and moving from the easiest obstacle to the hardest obstacle. And then when I'm done, I'll let you guys know how I feel like this advice from Chris Joslin worked. So yeah, let's try and get some back big spins. Okay, so Chris Joslin's advice, I do think that it worked, and I do think that practicing the trick in 2 separate parts, doing the pop shove it and then the back 180, kind of really helped to solidify each trick individually in my brain. So that way I could actually do Chris Joslin's tip of thinking of it in 2 separate parts. And to be completely honest, I filmed this video a few days before and I accidentally deleted all the footage. So this is me going through the exact same process again, and it worked the first time, but the second time it worked even better. So I do think that this process of breaking it into 2 steps and then combining the 2 tricks into 1 is like a really good way of thinking about the trick as you're rolling up, and just a really good way to practice your technique with each trick so that it becomes a lot more fluid when you're trying to combine them. Now there is one thing that I will say Chris Joslin didn't mention that I personally think makes a lot of sense. So Chris Joslin said to think first pop shove it and then back 180. But to me, that doesn't really make sense, because if you think pop shove it, you don't really wind your shoulders for a pop shove it. You more so just, you know, keep your shoulders straight and pop. And so rolling up just thinking pop shove it, you might have some problems getting the full rotation. So for me, what I did is as I rolled up, I would think back 180, and then so basically my shoulders would be like open, and then as they started to like close, then I would think, all right, just do a pop shove it. Don't scoop it, just pop straight down just like a regular pop shove it, and then finish with a back 180. So it was kind of like Heath said to think of it as pop shove it then back 180, but for me it was back 180, pop shove it, back 180. And to be honest, I didn't really even think too much about back 180 the second time. As long as I got my shoulders rotating and then just did a regular pop shove it, it seemed like it was just like coming around, and then at that point it was just really up to me to like bend my knees and put my feet on it to try and roll away. Another thing that I noticed is you can watch Chris Joslin, and when he does his backside big spins, he does not put any weight on the toe side of his board. So I know I personally have a tendency to like carve toe side when I'm trying to pop a back big spin, and that just does not work at all. If you try putting pressure on the toe side when you're doing a pop shove it, that's gonna end up doing like a half pressure flip, and you're gonna land primo, or the board's gonna be upside down. So the trick is to stand kind of like straight up, keep your head directly over the board. If your head gets too much over the edge, then you're gonna start putting weight on your toes. So try and keep your head over the board, and then just think back 180, get that clean pop, and then the rest of the trick kind of takes care of itself. You kind of just need to trust your shoulders carrying you around. And then at that point for me, because I haven't done a lot of them, I just kind of hope I get lucky that my feet meet up with the board, and then I just bend my knees enough and we kind of skirt it out of there. So yeah, I was pretty hyped on the back big spins that I did get, especially I feel like the one up the Euro was probably the cleanest. I did like a little tic-tac at the end, but this is still like a new trick for me, like big time. So especially like doing it on stuff around the park. So I was pretty hyped on how it came out. And I gotta say, like Chris Joslin's approach for learning back big spins really does work. Obviously you've got to put in the work and tweak things yourself, but I think that he gives a really good starting place for trying to figure out back big spins. And I feel like this is a really good approach, not just with back big spins, but with a lot of other tricks, like how I mentioned to think back 180 and then pop shove. I feel like that could work for, you know, like backside flip, or maybe I haven't done like a backside heel in forever. So I'm gonna keep experimenting with this idea of thinking backside 180 and then add a trick and then just let your shoulders keep coming around, because I think there's a good chance that this same concept that Chris Joslin talked about of thinking of it in 2 tricks can apply to a whole ton of other tricks and really help me improve my skating. So I'll definitely have more on learning those tricks, but I hope you guys enjoy these videos. I still have like quite a few more that I'm going to be making. So if you like these videos and you want to see more videos of, you know, like pros giving advice on certain tricks, I've got videos like with Ashad Ware, Alex Midler, Mariah Duran, Mike Mo, just like so many different pro skaters that I'm going to be putting out over like the next week or two. So if you're into these kind of videos, I would definitely recommend subscribing, because there's going to be a lot more content just like this. So that's pretty much it for today. You can follow me on Instagram @TheLocalJoe. Remember to make every single day Friday, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.